pressed for time.
Are we?
I trust that the cares of medical practice have not entirely obliterated the interest which you used to take in our little deductive problems.
On the contrary. Only last night I was looking over my old notes and classifying some of our past results.
I trust that you don't consider your collection closed.
Sure, not at all. I would very much like to have more of such experiences.
Yes, today, for example.
Yes, today, if you like.
Yes, as far off as Birmingham.
Certainly, if you wish it.
And your practice.
Oh, I look after my neighbours when he goes. He's always ready to work off the debt.
Nothing could be better.
I'll just write a note for him.
I perceive that you've been unwell lately. Summer colds are always a little trying.
I was confined to the house by a severe chill for 3 days last week. I thought, however, that I'd cast off every trace of it.
So you have. You look remarkably robust.
How then do you know about it?
My dear fellow, you know my methods.
You deduced it, then?
Certainly.
And from what?
From your slippers.
My slippers? How on earth...
Then you... You could not have had them for more than a few weeks. The soles are slightly scorched. For a moment I thought that they might have got wet and been burned in the drying, but near the instep there's a small wafer of paper with a shopman's hieroglyphics upon it. Damp would, of course, have removed this. It follows, therefore, that you've been sitting with your feet outstretched to the fire, which a man would hardly do, even in so wet a June as this, if he were in his full health.
Simplicity itself.
I'm afraid that I'd rather give myself away when I explain. Results without explanations are much more impressive. Now, finish your note to your neighbour and we'll be off to Birmingham.
Certainly. What's the case?
You shall hear it all in the train. My client is outside in a four-wheeler. We have time to spare, but not much. All right, cabby. Euston Station.
Right up.
In you get, Watson. Yep. Now, let me introduce you. This, Watson, is my client, Mr. Hall Pycroft. Mr. Pycroft, my friend and colleague, Dr. Watson.
Pleased to meet you, sir.
How do you do?
Mr. Pycroft has a tale to tell.
Indeed I have, sir.
It is too good a tale to be interrupted, so I suggest that you do not tell it until we're on board the train.
Mr. Pycroft was a well-built, fresh-complexioned young fellow with a frank, honest face and a slight, crisp yellow moustache. He wore a very shiny top hat and a neat suit of sober black, which made him look what he was, a smart young city man, of the class who have been labelled cockneys, but who give us our crack volunteer regiments, and who turn out more fine athletes and sportsmen than any body of men in these islands. His round, ruddy face was naturally full of cheeriness, but the corners of his mouth were pulled down and gave evidence of distress. He was clearly nervous and worried.
Now, we have a clear run here of 17 minutes. I want you, Mr. Hall Pycroft, to tell my friend your very interesting experience exactly as you've told it to me, or with more detail, if possible. It'll be of use to me to hear the succession of events again.
Very good, sir.
This is a case, Watson, which may prove to have something in it, or may prove to have nothing, but which at least presents those unusual and outre features which are as dear to you as they are to me. Now, Mr. Pycroft, I shall not interrupt you again.
The worst of my story is that I show myself up as such a confounded fool. Of course, it may all work out all right, and I don't see that I could have done otherwise. But if I have lost my crib and get nothing in exchange, I shall feel what a soft Johnny I have been.
Your crib?
My job.
Ah.
I'm a city clerk, and I used to have a billet at Coxon and Woodhouse of Draper's Gardens. But early in the spring, they came a nasty cropper through the Venezuelan loan. You've doubtless heard of that business. It was a huge crash.
Indeed, yes. One of my patients was badly stung.
Well, sir, it more or less wiped out the firm, and all we clerks were turned adrift. 27 of us. I've been with them for 5 years, and old Coxon gave me a ripping good testimonial when the end came. I tried here and tried there, but there were lots of other chaps on the same lay as myself, so it was a perfect frost for some time.
How much were you paid at Coxon's?
£3 a week. I had saved about 70 of them, but I soon worked my way through that and out at the other end. I was fairly floored at the last. Could hardly find the stamps to answer advertisements or envelopes to stick them to. My boots were worn out padding up and down office stairs, and I seemed just as far from getting a billet as ever.
But you did not give up, you persevered.
I did, yes. I saw there was a vacancy at Mawson and Williams, the great stockbroker.